This is The Porcupine Presents, and the continuation of Captain Midnight, The Mysterious Voice, episodes 20 through 26. Enjoy.
Skelly Oil Company presents Captain Midnight. Captain Midnight, brought to you 3 times each week by the Skelly Oil Company, Skelly Jobbers and Dealers. But first, tell me this. Does your family car ever have heart trouble? Yeah, heart trouble. In other words, is your family car ever troubled with a weak battery? You see, the battery is the heart of your car. A car can't operate without a battery any better than your body could operate without a heart. Now, why do I tell you this? Well, it's because I have something for you to tell Dad about the heart of your family car, the battery. It's this. There's nothing that's quite so hard on a car's battery as motor oil that gets thick as glue in cold weather. Now, of course, all motor oil gets slightly thicker in cold weather, but some kinds get much thicker and gluier than others. They keep your motor from turning over easy in the morning. They drain the power out of the battery, so you have to have it recharged oftener. The battery may even go dead just when you need it most. Yes, oil that turns thick as glue in cold weather is really hard on the heart of your family car. So here's what to tell Dad about that. Tell him to try Skelly Tagoline Winter Motor Oil, because Skelly Tagoline Winter Oil is especially processed to make it stay free-flowing in cold weather. It won't turn thick as glue when the car stands overnight in a cold garage. It will let your motor turn over easy and start quick. That means less wear on your battery, better lubrication for your motor. Skelly Tagoline Winter Motor Oil is easy on the heart of your family car. So remember that, won't you? Tell Dad you don't want your family car to have heart trouble. Tell him how Skelly Tagoline Winter Motor Oil is easy on batteries, because it's free-flowing in cold weather. It's good for your car's heart. Tell Dad about it tonight. And now to Captain Midnight. In trying to trace Chuck Ramsey and Frank Crane, who have suddenly disappeared, the remnants of Chuck's plane, which burned after a crash, were found. A short distance from the wreckage, Captain Midnight is talking in low tones with Steve Donovan and Fred Hilton. After reconstructing what, in his opinion, has happened, Captain Midnight makes the amazing statement that when Chuck's plane crashed, no one was at the controls. Listen as Steve exclaims,
You actually mean that no one was flying Chuck's plane when it crashed here?
I don't mean anything else, Steve.
Why, it doesn't seem possible, Captain Midnight.
Perhaps not, but that's still my opinion. It may sound fantastic, but here's the way I see it. Chuck's plane was turned for a takeoff the narrow way of the field. The wheel was tied so that the ship would rise on a normal climb. Then someone from outside the plane shoved the throttle wide open and the ship took off by itself.
You mean it tried to take off?
Yes.
But whoever did it must have known the plane wouldn't clear those trees.
I don't think whoever did it cared whether it cleared the trees or not. If the ship crashed here, that was all right. If it succeeded in clearing the trees and crashed somewhere else, well, that was all right, too.
Oh, I begin to get your drift now. Someone wanted it to appear that Chuck and young Crane had been killed.
Yes. At least he wanted to make it difficult for anyone to find out what became of Chuck and young Crane.
Then if Chuck wasn't flying his own ship, the chances are he was in the other plane, the big one.
I lean to that belief, yes.
Well, then whoever engineered this thing came over here, fixed it so Chuck's plane would crash, then took off in the large ship.
Well, if I can read the signs correctly, that's about it.
In that case, Chuck and young Crane must be prisoners in that big plane.
That's the logical conclusion, Fred.
Well, the next question is, who was flying this big ship?
I don't know, Steve. But frankly, between the three of us, I'm a little bit worried.
Well, who in the world would want to carry off Chuck Ramsey and young Crane? They didn't have any money to speak of. Robbery couldn't have been the motive.
You know about Ivan the Shark, Fred.
Sure, I know about him, but I thought you told Steve you didn't believe he was anywhere around this part of the country now.
He isn't now, but he may have been yesterday.
Do you really believe Ivan Shark would have had the nerve to fly up this way?
Now, wait a minute. I'm thinking back, Steve, and I remember that Major Steele told us Ivan Shark's plane passed over him and Bud Conley several days before we found them. Now, does that mean anything to you?
Why, George, that means Shark was headed in this general direction.
Right. And we know that Shark has underworld connections all over the country. He may have known about the field we were at this morning. Knew it was a safe place to refuel.
I begin to see the whole thing now. When Chuck was on his way back to Ridgeville Airport after meeting me, he must have seen Shark's plane on that field. Maybe it was refueling then, or had already finished. He landed to investigate, and then...
But wait a second, Hilton. Chuck's no fool. He knows Ivan Shark's plane. He wouldn't have walked right into the lion's mouth.
Now, you hold on a minute, Steve. Ivan Shark's no fool either. He could have disguised his plane, repainted it, done a lot of other things to change its appearance.
You know, I believe that's just what happened. But the most important question in my mind is this. Where did Ivan Shark head from here? Where was he going?
Well, that's difficult to say, Fred. As I said before, Shark has underworld connections everywhere. He has many hideouts. Our only chance to beat him is for us to anticipate his moves. Now, that's what I'm going to try to do. Well, there's no use in wasting time here. Come on. We're going to take off at once.
At almost the same time, Ivan Shark is about 1,000 miles away, flying northward in his plane. The servant Fang and Fury Shark are in the rear of the cabin, guarding the door leading into the rear compartment, in which are Chuck Ramsey and his young friend, Frank Crane. They are talking together in low tones. Let's listen as Frank says.
That's what I was hoping for last night. But Shark didn't give us a chance.
He doesn't take chances like that. Much as we'd like to hope so, I'm afraid he's not going to make a slip anywhere.
Where do you suppose that field was? When we stopped at last night?
I haven't got the faintest idea, Frank. All we do know is that he flew almost 4 hours before landing.
That's right. I remember you checked it by your wristwatch. Chuck, this ship can cover a lot of distance in 4 hours, so let's try to figure out which direction we've been going. If we only had a compass.
That would help a lot, I know. But we haven't, so let's try something else. Now, this much we do know. Shark hasn't been doing any turning or circling around, so it's safe to conclude that he's been flying in the same direction all the time.
And I imagine we're continuing in the same direction this morning.
Now, let's try to think where about 1,000 miles from Ridgeville would put us.
Okay, let's do that.
If he flew east, that would put us way out over the Gulf of Mexico. And by looking down through that crack in the center, we'd have known it if Shark had flown over a large body of water.
You're right. That's out. Now then, what about the south?
A straight southerly course would put us down in the southern part of Mexico. In fact, we might even be out over the Pacific Ocean.
Well, if that's the direction he went, we're still over Mexico. We haven't seen any water yet.
Now, if he flew west, 1,000 miles would put us out about, well, over the Gulf of California, or that long strip of land known as Lower California.
Well, we haven't seen any large body of water, so that's out too.
The only direction that remains, then, is the north. And that's the direction I'm beginning to think he took.
Well, let's see. If he flew north 1,000 miles, it ought to put us somewhere in the northern part of Texas or in Oklahoma.
Right. And that particular region is rather flat. Come on, let's take a look and see what the country below us looks like.
Okay, Chuck, let's.
I don't think we're over Oklahoma or Texas, because this country below us is awful rough.
Yeah, some of those mountains are pretty high.
You bet they're high. Look, you'll notice there's a lot of timber down there, but at certain parts where there isn't any timber at all. Now, those sections are above the timber line.
Well, gee, if that's the case, those parts that didn't have any timber must be terribly high.
Yes. And I'm beginning to wonder if we aren't looking down on the Rocky Mountains. I can't imagine any other region where so much of the mountaintops would be above the timber line.
Gee, if we're over the Rocky Mountains, Shark must have been flying in the northwest direction.
That's right. And if those are the Rocky Mountains, we're probably in the northern part of New Mexico or the southern part of Colorado.
My gosh, Chuck! You're not far from your home at Black Gulch.
You know, I'm just wondering, Frank. I'm wondering if Shark isn't going back to his old hideout in the mountains behind Black Gulch.
But you said he was driven out of there.
Yes, he was. But it's quite possible he had another hideout here that we didn't know anything about.
If only have given us a chance to do something last night. We just didn't.
No, it would have been suicide to try anything. They blindfolded us before they took us out of this compartment. And when I tried to push my blindfold up with my hand, that fella Gardo hit me so hard with his fist, I almost knocked me over.
Yeah, I heard that. Afraid for a moment that you were hurt bad.
So I didn't try anything more after that. If we're going to get out of this, we're going to have to do it by using our heads.
But look, Chuck, what do you suppose Shark's going to do with us? What's his idea in taking us this far?
Wait a second. Somebody's at the door.
You will come out, Chuck Ramsey. My master, Ivan Shark, wishes to see you.
Very well. Now, don't get worried, Frank. I'll be back in a few minutes.
Ramsey, Master.
Very good, Fang. You will please take the co-pilot seat, Ramsey. I had Gardo leave it to make room for you.
Now what are you trying to do?
And I may as well warn you, Ramsey, not to try anything. Gardo is seated in the cabin with a gun ready for instant use. And even though I'm flying the plane, I can handle you, too.
You have a lot of confidence in yourself, don't you?
Yes, Ramsey, I do. But I may say that I would not find myself in my present position if I didn't.
I know you didn't get me up here to tell me about yourself. What do you want with me?
Excellent, Ramsey. That was spoken after my own heart. You waste no time in coming to the point.
You might as well come to the point, right now.
I do not think there is any great rush, Ramsey. To be truthful with you, I anticipate that you will be my guest for a long time. And in order that you shall not raise your hopes too high, I will tell you that I have noticed the quick glances you are taking at the ground below. It is quite useless, my dear Ramsey. I would not have allowed you to come up here without your blindfold if I had any fear of your discovering anything of value.
Well, I must admit I don't see anything that looks familiar.
No, and you won't. At least not for a while.
All right. Let's get to the point. I like Frank Crane's company a lot better than yours.
My dear Ramsey, I am somewhat shocked at you. Such a statement might almost be considered rude.
Maybe so.
You think that is any way to treat me, Ramsey? Remember, your life is in my hands.
Why don't you get to the point?
Ramsey, Captain Midnight is very fond of you, is he not?
Yes, I guess he is.
Captain Midnight undoubtedly would be very much pleased to see you again, would he not?
Yes, I guess he would.
What do you suppose that Captain Midnight would be willing to do, Ramsey, if he could be assured of having you back safely with him again? Almost anything, don't you think?
Yes, Captain Midnight was right. The fiendishly clever Ivan Shark is preparing to strike at the only weak point in Captain Midnight's armor, the famous pilot's love for Chuck Ramsey. What will happen next? Don't miss the coming battle of wits between the master criminal, Ivan Shark, and the courageous pilot, Captain Midnight. Tune in to Captain Midnight. See, remember what we said a few minutes ago about the heart of your family car, the battery, and how oil that turns thick as glue is hard on your battery? Well, thick oil isn't the only thing that wears down your battery in winter. You run your lights longer in winter. Your heater puts an extra load on your battery, too. Then maybe a defroster fan, and that takes battery power. Now, here's the best way to save a battery I know. Save it hard winter starts. First, by using a free-flowing, easy-starting winter motor oil like Skelly Tagoline, and second, by changing over to a wide-awake, weather-right gasoline. A gasoline that's fitted to your weather to give you quick starting in spite of cold winter weather. And here's one gasoline I know is weather-right. Skelly Tailor-Made Gasoline. It's tailor-made for quick starts in your kind of weather. It saves your battery by starting right up the instant Dad touches the starter. Yes, Skelly Tailor-Made Gasoline and Skelly Tagoline Winter Oil both do your car's heart good. They're easy on the battery. Tell Dad about that tonight. And say just one more thing. Be sure to tune in our next program for a very important announcement that you'll be thrilled to hear. Tell all your friends to listen in, too, for sure. So, don't forget to tune in again Wednesday, same time, same station, for further transcribed adventures of Captain Midnight. Brought to you every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday by the Skelly Oil Company, Skelly Jobbers and Dealers. Until Wednesday, this is Don Gordon, your Skelly man, saying goodbye and happy landing! Skelly Oil Company presents Captain Midnight. Captain Midnight, brought to you 3 times each week by the Skelly Oil Company, Skelly Jobbers and Dealers. See, at the close of our last program, I promised you a very important announcement. And here it is. It's one of the most sensational free offers ever made to the members of Captain Midnight's famous flight patrol. It's something that every air-minded fellow and girl in America would want to have the minute they heard about it. But it will be available exclusively to you as members of the 1940 Flight Patrol. Now, here's what it is. It's a beautiful, big, colored map of the airlines of America. Different from anything you've ever seen. A map that shows every major airline in the United States, from Atlantic to Pacific, from Canada to Mexico. It shows the exact route flown by every airline, the cities it serves, things that every air-minded fellow and girl should know about aviation. But listen, this is no little toy map, no siree. It's a great big wall map, 11 inches high and 17 inches wide, and printed in 3 different colors. It comes to you flat, without a single fold in it, so you can put it right up on the wall over your radio, or maybe up in your own room where you can study it and make yourself a regular authority on the airlines of America. But gee whiz, just think of all the things you'll know, the information you'll have right on the tip of your tongue. You'll know, for instance, the names of all the airlines that serve the city of Chicago. Just how many airlines fly in and out of St. Paul, Minneapolis, Omaha, Kansas City, St. Louis, Denver, Amarillo, Wichita, Tulsa, and every other important city in the United States. And that's not all. You'll know all about the airplanes they use, too. Because right along the edge of this big 3-colored airlines map, there are pictures and descriptions of many popular transport planes flown by the airlines of the United States. Boy, oh boy, what fun you'll have. And how proud you'll be to have one of these big Captain Midnight airline maps all your very own. But here's the most amazing part of it all. It's absolutely free to members of Captain Midnight's 1940 Flight Patrol. Here's all you do to get one. Just have Mother or Dad stop at your Skelly service station the next time you're out driving with them in the family car. Show your Skelly man your Flight Patrol membership card and ask for your free Captain Midnight airline map of the United States. You don't need any seals or labels or box tops or anything else. You don't have to spend a single penny, not even for a stamp. Your Skelly man will give you your big airline wall map absolutely free the minute he sees that you're a member of Captain Midnight's 1940 Flight Patrol. And if you're not a member, the Skelly man will be glad to enroll you and give you that swell medal of membership. So remember, your map is ready for you right now at your Skelly service station. So have Mother or Dad drive you over to get it tonight. And now to Captain Midnight. With Chuck Ramsey and the young student pilot, Frank Crane, in the hands of Ivan Shark, the mystery of their disappearance has become more baffling to Captain Midnight. As our scene opens today, Ivan Shark's powerful bimotored plane is flying high over a region unknown to Chuck. Young Crane is in the rear compartment, with Fury Shark and the servant Fang guarding the door. The chief pilot, Gardo, sits in the cabin with drawn pistol, watching Chuck, who is sitting in the co-pilot seat, talking to Ivan Shark. Let's listen as Shark says.
I see there is no hope for you, Ramsey. You came under the influence of Captain Midnight too soon. If I had gotten hold of you, I would have made something out of you, because you do have certain qualities which are very necessary for success. You have one thing, Ramsey, which I admire very much. You have courage. And that, I must admit, is a quality some of my men lack.
I can tell you why some of your men lack courage.
Proceed, my dear Ramsey. Your philosophical dissertations amuse me very much.
True courage comes only from doing what is right. And that's why your men don't have it.
Well, Ramsey, I can see that you're set in your ways. It is a shame, too, I assure you. But perhaps we had better get back to the point.
Yes, I think so, too. Just what is the point of you dragging me and my friend Crane with you?
The point is this. What will Captain Midnight be willing to do for your safe return?
Nothing. Nothing at all.
I do not believe that, Ramsey.
He won't do anything if it conflicts with his duty.
Then I am afraid, Ramsey, that the acceptance of any proposition I may make to Captain Midnight will conflict with his silly sense of duty.
I'm sure it will.
But I don't agree with you about Captain Midnight. I believe there isn't a man in the world who hasn't some weakness which will interfere with his sense of duty.
That's not true. There are plenty of men who won't allow any weakness to interfere with their sense of duty. And Captain Midnight is one of them.
A very naive and silly belief, Ramsey. And I can tell you this. I am certainly going to put Captain Midnight to the test.
You said you wondered what Captain Midnight would do for my safe return. And just what do you mean by that?
I will tell you. As you know, Captain Midnight and I have been waging a long struggle. He is determined upon my extermination. My liquidation, as it were. Now, strangely enough, I admire him for his courage. And so all I ask of Captain Midnight is to let me alone.
He won't ever do that. What you're doing now will set him on your trail more than ever. And with me along, you're in a more dangerous position than you ever were before.
That, Ramsey, is a matter of opinion. I will gamble that Captain Midnight will bargain with me for your safe return.
How do you propose to do your bargaining with Captain Midnight?
That will be very simple, Ramsey. I shall get into communication with Captain Midnight, and I shall make him my proposition. Or rather, I shall find out if he is agreeable to a proposition.
He won't be.
Again, I disagree with you.
And also, what kind of assurance would you have to have from Captain Midnight?
That, again, is very simple. Captain Midnight is a very remarkable man. Most of the time, as you say, he has that very silly but firm sense of duty. I consider that Captain Midnight's word of honor is final. If he gives me his word of honor, I feel absolutely confident he will keep it.
If he gave it, even to you, he'd keep it. But he never will.
We will see about it. And now, I must make my plan. Fang.
Yes, Master?
You will conduct Ramsey back to the rear compartment.
Yes, Master. You will come this way, Ramsey.
Okay.
I'm glad you're back, Chuck. What happened?
I found out what Ivan Shark intends to do.
Oh, gee, what is it?
He's going to try to get Captain Midnight's word of honor that Captain Midnight will leave Shark alone in the future. And if he can get him to make such an agreement, well, then he'll release us.
Oh, Captain Midnight will never agree to that.
You're absolutely right. Captain Midnight won't bargain with Shark.
Maybe some way or other we can help Captain Midnight find us.
It's just what I was thinking. I know Captain Midnight well enough to know that he'd never make the kind of a bargain that Ivan Shark wants. But I know this also, that Captain Midnight will keep stalling him off as long as possible so he can attempt to locate us in the meantime.
Why, sure, that's exactly what he'll do. But gosh, Chuck, what can we do to help him?
Gee, I don't know yet, Frank. I haven't had time to think it over. But I do know we've got to find some way to get a message to Captain Midnight.
Well, of course. Well, even if we could do that, we wouldn't know what to tell him.
No, we wouldn't. At least not yet. But I can tell you this. Ivan Shark is flying somewhere, probably to some hideout. And he's going to keep us there while he tries to bargain with Captain Midnight.
Oh, gee, if we only knew where he was taking us.
Our only chance to find that out is to know where we are during the rest of the flight. And I have a pretty good idea, I can tell you that.
Gosh, I forgot you were up in the cockpit, weren't you?
I'll say I was. I sat right up in the co-pilot seat. And that's where Ivan Shark and I had our talk.
And he let you sit there and look out all you wanted to?
I'm sure he did. And I used my eyes plenty, I can tell you that. But he noticed it and laughed at me. He said to go ahead and look all I wanted to. It wouldn't do me any good.
Well, that probably means we're flying over strange country you've never seen.
Yeah, maybe so. But he let one thing slip. He said to look all I wanted, that it wouldn't do me any good. Not yet.
Not yet? He said that?
Yes. So I figured that we must be approaching country that I'm acquainted with.
How about the direction? You were in the cockpit. You must have seen
Yes, I saw the compass, if that's what you mean. And all the other instruments, too.
We thought we were flying northwest. How about it, Chuck?
We weren't very far off, I can tell you that. As a matter of fact, we're flying at 325 degrees.
325 degrees? What? Oh, we're only 10 degrees off.
Yes, and from looking at the ground below, I'm more than ever convinced that we're flying over the Rocky Mountains. In fact, we must be approaching the Black Gulch country. That's why Ivan Shark said I wouldn't see anything to help me. Not yet.
Hey, do you really suppose he's going to land at that old hideout of his? The one you told me about?
No, I just can't make myself believe so, Frank. Shark may land there to refuel, but I don't believe he'll stay there. He knows that Captain Midnight and I both know that country very well. I believe he'll go on to some other region with which we're not familiar. Now, if he leaves the Rocky Mountain country and flies east, he comes to the level plain section of the Middle West.
Well, I don't believe he'd do that. Too many people would see the ship.
No, I think that's out. Well, then the only section that remains is further on north.
Gosh, Chuck, let's see. That'd probably mean up somewhere in Wyoming or Idaho or Montana.
You're right. But I'm not sure at all that Chuck would stop there. In fact, I'm more inclined to think that, well, I believe that he's going to try to get out of the United States.
Oh, gosh, Chuck. Well, the next place would be Canada.
Yes, Frank, you're right. Canada. And I wouldn't be a bit surprised if that's where he's headed.
Oh, but gosh, Chuck, Canada's an awfully big place, and it's not very well populated either. Oh, I've heard there's sections up there where there isn't one human being in thousands of square miles.
Well, that's true enough, all right. Oh, but come on now. Keep your chin up, Frank. We've got to think of ways that'll help us, not things that are going to discourage us.
But there's another thing, Chuck. Something we haven't thought about. What'll Captain Midnight be doing?
You know, Frank, that same thought was just running through my mind. I'm wondering how long it'll take Captain Midnight to find out we've fallen into Ivan Shark's hands.
Oh, gosh. I'm afraid it'll be pretty tough for him. You and I just disappeared from Ridgeville Airport, and gosh, we didn't tell anyone where we were going.
Oh, gee, you're right. Hey, but wait a second. That's not true at all. Mr. Hilton, don't you remember?
Oh, gee, Chuck, that's right. But, maybe it'll be a long time before he goes into Ridgeville.
No, I don't think so, Frank. Mr. Hilton is making Ridgeville his headquarters.
Oh, hey, listen, Chuck. Listen to that. Shark's throttled his engines. We're going down to land. But where in the world can we be?
Yes, where can Chuck and Frank Crane be? What secret field, perhaps known only to criminals like himself, can Ivan Shark be landing on? And in the meantime, what is Captain Midnight doing? Tune in to Captain Midnight. Now remember, tonight's the night to get your big three-color airline map of the United States at your Skelly service station. A big 11 by 17-inch wall map showing the routes flown by every major airline in the United States, with pictures and descriptions of the transport planes most widely used. And it's absolutely free to members of Captain Midnight's 1940 Flight Patrol. But now listen, if you are not already a member, see your Skelly man at once. He'll enroll you right away and see that you get your free Flight Patrol membership card and your spinning medal of membership, too. All absolutely free. So remember, have Mother or Dad stop at your Skelly service station with you tonight or tomorrow for sure. Whether you join up right now or whether you're already a member of the 1940 Flight Patrol, you can get your free Captain Midnight airline map tonight. So don't put it off. See your Skelly man right away. And don't forget to tune in again Friday, same time, same station, for further transcribed adventures of Captain Midnight. Brought to you by the Skelly Oil Company, Skelly Jobbers and Dealers. Will Fred Hilton prove the means of tracing Chuck and Frank Crane? What does Ivan Shark intend to do? And where is he landing? Be sure to listen Friday. Until then, this is Don Gordon, your Skelly man, saying goodbye and happy landing! Skelly Oil Company presents Captain Midnight. Captain Midnight, brought to you 3 times each week by the Skelly Oil Company, Skelly Jobbers and Dealers. But first, fellas and girls, I have a confession to make. The other night, when I first told you about the sensational new free offer we're making on this program, I'd never actually seen Captain Midnight's big 3-color airline map of the United States that we're offering free to every member of the 1940 Flight Patrol. But today I saw it. And say, fellows and girls, let me tell you, it's a beauty. Why, it's so exciting and interesting and packed full of important information about aviation that I simply can't tell you what a big thrill I know it will give you. You see, this is not an ordinary map. It's something absolutely new and different from anything you ever saw. It's never been published before in this form, and it's not for sale anywhere. It's printed in 3 beautiful colors, and it's big. It's 11 inches high and 17 inches wide. And it comes to you absolutely flat, without any folds or wrinkles in it, so you can put it right up on the wall and keep it that way. Now, here's what it contains. First, there's the official airline map of the United States, showing every major airline in America, just where they fly, what cities they serve, and all about them. By just glancing at this map, you can tell the names of all the airlines flying in and out of any important city in the United States. But that isn't all. Around the edge of the map, there are pictures and descriptions of the most popular commercial transport planes in use today. Gee whiz, just think of all the things you can learn about aviation every time you look at this beautiful big wall map. Believe me, folks will know you really are interested in aviation when they hear you tell all about the airlines of the United States. But now listen, here's how to get your very own airline map of America absolutely free. Just stop at your Skelly service station and show your Skelly man your Flight Patrol membership card the next time you're out riding with Mother or Dad. Why, maybe they'll drive you over there tonight. Simply show your Skelly man that you're a member of the 1940 Flight Patrol, and you get your big free map right on the spot. And if you're not a member yet, tell your Skelly man you want to join. He'll make you a member so you can get your free airline map right away. So let me repeat. Captain Midnight's big 3-color airline map is absolutely free to every fellow and girl who is a member or wants to become a member of Captain Midnight's 1940 Flight Patrol. So just stop at your Skelly service station with Mother or Dad tonight, and your Skelly man will do the rest. Now, don't put it off. Stop in tonight or tomorrow for sure. And now to Captain Midnight. Chuck Ramsey and his friend, Frank Crane, you remember, are in the power of Ivan Shark, who is taking them on a secret flight. Meanwhile, Captain Midnight and his friends are doing all they can to get a clue as to Chuck's whereabouts. It is now noon on the day following Chuck's disappearance. Captain Midnight, Major Steele, and Steve Donovan are seated in the pilot's room of the Southwest Airlines Administration Building at Ridgeville Airport. They're gathered round a small table on which is spread out a large map. Listen as Major Steele says.
Well, what are your plans, Captain? What do you want to do?
Well, now, here's the way I look at it, Major. Shark's got a 24-hour start on us, and we think he's flying northwest. At least, that's the direction he was flying when he was last seen. But we have no proof that he continued on that course indefinitely. He may have doubled back over Mexico. He could have gone in almost any direction. Now, it'd be very foolish to start flying with the meager information we have.
I guess you're right, Captain. But, gee, I sort of hate to sit here doing nothing.
That's where you're wrong, Steve. We aren't idle. We're making preparations for the future. And if my theory is right, Ivan Shark will get in touch with me here.
Well, if he does communicate with you...
Then I'll be ready to act at once. Now, for that, I've got to have a fast plane.
Well, I talked to the Spartan factory a little while ago.
Yes?
They have a special job ready, which you can have at once.
How many passengers?
6.
Good. How fast?
It's specially streamlined and will do close to 250.
All right. I'll take it.
Well, do you want to go up and take delivery there?
No, Steve. I'd rather stay here on the chance of hearing something from Shark.
Well, we'll go up and get it for you.
Yes, that's what I'd like to have you do. Steve, can you get the use of the ship?
Oh, you bet I can. Fast 4-passenger cabin job.
Good. Take Senor Paredes' nephew Pablo with you and introduce him to Captain Balfour of the Spartan Flying School. Ask Captain Balfour, as a personal favor to me, to see that the boy gets started right.
Okay.
I'd like to go up with him myself, but Chuck's disappearance has made that impossible.
Well, I'll have a talk with Captain Balfour myself, Captain.
Oh, good, Major. Now, there's one thing more. Mrs. Donovan has received a very urgent message from her sister at Dallas. His sister is very ill, and Mrs. Donovan feels that she should go to her at once.
Well, that's easily done. Dallas is almost on our course to Tulsa.
Yes, I know that. You can drop Mrs. Donovan off at Dallas and then continue on to Tulsa.
What about Patsy?
Well, you wouldn't have room for her in the plane anyway, and Mrs. Donovan has consented to let Patsy stay with Steve. Patsy knows Chuck so well that it's quite possible she can be of some real assistance to us in our search for him.
Oh, you bet she can. You know, she's a pretty smart kid, even if she is my sister.
Well, I think we'd better get started at once then. We ought to get back here just as quickly as we can.
Yes. I'd like to have you back here as soon as you can get here. Because no one knows what may happen in the next few hours.
Well, come on, Major. Let's get going. Go on.
And at the same moment, Ivan Shark's large bimotored plane is taking off from a lonely field over 1,000 miles to the northwest. The criminal himself is at the controls, and in the co-pilot seat is his daughter, Fury Shark. Listen as Ivan Shark says,
I should like to make one more landing, Fury, before we leave the United States and enter Canada. Then my plans will be complete.
I think you are very foolish, Father, to have taken Chuck Ramsey and the boy Crane with us. What possible good can come of it?
More good than you have dreamed of, my dear. I tell you that at last Captain Midnight has played into my hands. He will trouble us no more.
Now you are getting soft, Father. You are very foolish indeed to accept Captain Midnight's word, even if he should give it to you.
You do not know what you are saying, Fury. Captain Midnight is not like you or me. He has a chaotic idea of something called honor. Once he has given his word, he will not break it.
And you really think that in order to get Chuck Ramsey back safely, Captain Midnight will give you his word of honor not to bother you again?
That is exactly what I believe, Fury. He would do anything for Chuck Ramsey.
But how do you propose to communicate with him? Don't forget, Father, Captain Midnight is no fool. If he can find us and rescue Chuck Ramsey without giving his word of honor, he will do so.
I have thought of all that, my dear. After I have made another landing, we will fly to our old hideout in Canada. But I will make it impossible for Captain Midnight to discover the location.
And still communicate with him?
Most certainly, my dear. It will be very easy. In fact, I relish the days ahead of us very much, because I will be embarked on a battle of wits between Captain Midnight and myself. But this time, I will hold the advantage once and for all.
All I can say is this, my dear Father. Do not underestimate Captain Midnight.
Have no fear, my dear. I do not underestimate him.
But how will you communicate with him without his knowing where we are?
I have it all worked out. At our next landing, I will send a telegram to him, sounding him out. This telegram will be sent from some other point far from this part of the country.
Through some of our friends, I suppose.
Certainly. You can see how easy that will be.
Yes. And that will certainly give Captain Midnight no clue to our whereabouts. But how will you have Captain Midnight communicate with you?
My dear, that is the best part. Captain Midnight has a certain wavelength which he always uses. I will tell him to reply to me by radio on that wavelength at certain times. From then on, our communications to each other will always be by radio. And each time I transmit to him, it will be from a different place.
Very good, Father. Very good.
I will only give him so much time to come to an agreement with me. If he does not give me his word, much as I regret it, Chuck Ramsey and young Crane will have to be liquidated.
Yes, Father. And we must not hesitate when the time comes.
There shall be no hesitation, my dear. It shall be done and done quickly. Then we will leave for another part of the world.
I am very curious, Father, to see how this struggle with Captain Midnight will come out. I do not believe he will make the bargain with you. But we shall see.
Yes, Fury. We shall see. We shall see.
Hours have passed, and our scene changes to Ridgeville Airport. It is now late in the evening, and Captain Midnight is talking to Patsy Donovan. A plane has just landed and is taxiing toward them. Let's listen as Patsy says.
It is Captain Midnight. I'm sure it is.
Yes, it looks like a spot, all right, Patsy. I guess it must be Steve and Major Steele.
Isn't it a beauty? Gosh, look at those trim lines. I'll bet it can sure make time.
Well, it must have made time to allow Major Steele and Steve to get here this quickly.
Why, look, Captain Midnight. I only see one person in the cockpit. Maybe it isn't Steve and Major Steele after all.
Oh, I'm sure it's a Spartan, Betsy. It has the Spartan Alliance. It's a six-passenger cabin plane. Well, we'll find out in a second.
It is, Steve. I'm sure it is. But I don't see Major Steele.
Yes, that's Steve, all right. I wonder what could have happened to Barry.
Hey, Steve. Steve, here we are. Where's Major Steele?
Hi there, Patsy. Hello, Captain Midnight.
Glad to see you back, Steve. Where's Major Steele?
Just a second, I'll be with you. I shut off the gas, I necked it up, and the engine ought to conk out any second.
Right.
That's strange. I wonder why Major Steele didn't come back. I wonder if something's gone wrong.
No, I don't think so, Patsy.
Oh, there. Steve will be with us in a second.
Yes. Where's Major Steele, Steve?
Well, when we got to Tulsa, Major Steele found an important message waiting for him from Washington.
Yes?
He took the first airliner out of Tulsa headed east. He said he'd get in touch with you later.
Oh, I see. I guess something very important must have come up. Well, that can't be helped. We'll fight this thing through ourselves.
Say, have you heard anything from Chuck?
No, not a word, Steve. Then I'm not surprised at that. Undoubtedly, Shark has certain plans, certain precautionary measures which he has to take.
Yes, I guess you're right, Captain. Well, what do you think I better do? Shall I put the Spartan into the hangar? I can't leave it out here very long.
No, wait, I was just thinking, Steve. I'll tell you what I think
Captain Albright, telegram for Captain Albright.
Listen. Do you hear that?
Captain Albright, telegram for Captain Albright.
Hey, that's the kid from the airport telegraph office. Hey, kid. Here's Captain Albright.
Okay. Are you Captain Albright, sir?
Oh, yes, I'm Captain Albright.
Here you are, sir. Sign here.
There you are, son.
Oh, thanks an awful lot, sir.
Is it news of Chuck?
Yes. Just as I suspected. It's signed Ivan Shark.
Well, Ivan Shark has made the first move in his battle of wits with Captain Midnight. It's now up to Captain Midnight to make the second. But what will Captain Midnight's move be? Thrilling adventures are ahead. Don't miss them. Tune in to Captain Midnight. A few minutes ago, I said that if you wanted to get one of those beautiful big three-color airline maps of the United States, and you were not yet a member of Captain Midnight's 1940 Flight Patrol, that you could join up now and get one anyway. Now, here's how to do that. You just stop at your Skelly service station with Mother or Dad when you're out in the family car tonight, tomorrow, or Sunday. Your Skelly man will enroll you as a member and see that you get your Flight Patrol membership card, your spinning Flight Patrol membership medal and pocket piece with the secret password, and he'll give you your big 11 by 17-inch wall map of the airlines of the United States, too. All absolutely free. Remember, it doesn't cost you a cent to join, and everything, including your official airline map, is free. So whether you're already a member or whether you're just joining now, stop at your Skelly service station and get your free airline map of America tonight. And don't forget to tune in again Monday, same time, same station, for further transcribed adventures of Captain Midnight, brought to you by the Skelly Oil Company, Skelly Jobbers and Dealers. So Ivan Shark has actually sent a message to Captain Midnight. What does it say? And will this prove the means whereby Captain Midnight can finally capture Shark and rescue Chuck? Be sure to listen Monday. Until then, this is Don Gordon, your Skelly man, saying goodbye and happy landing! The Skelly Oil Company presents Captain Midnight. Captain Midnight, brought to you 3 times each week by the Skelly Oil Company, Skelly Jobbers and Dealers. But say, fellas and girls, how many of you got over to your Skelly service station to get your free Captain Midnight airline map? That big 3-color wall map that Captain Midnight wants all the members of his famous 1940 Flight Patrol to have. Well, whether you got your free copy of this marvelous airline map already or not, I know you'll be interested to hear what Patsy Donovan has to say about it. So here's Patsy herself to tell you why she thinks every member of Captain Midnight's 1940 Flight Patrol should have one of these big 3-colored airline wall maps. All right, Patsy.
Hello, fellas and girls. Say, I never got such a big thrill in all my life as I did yesterday when Captain Midnight first showed me that big new airline map of his. Gee, I'd never seen anything like it. Loop and loops, but it's a beauty. But the best part of it is that it teaches you so many things that everybody ought to know. At least everybody that's crazy about aviation, like all of us Flight Patrol members. Why, Steve and I had an argument just the other day about how many airlines fly in and out of St. Louis. We looked at the map, and it told us in a second. Not only how many, but the names of all of them. Those pictures and descriptions of modern transport planes are swell, too. I say, I could go on all night talking about this thing, but I'd better stop now. So I'll just say, if you're anything like I am, you'll want to get one of these swell airline maps right away and put it up in your room where you can keep it for years to come. Take it from me, it's a map you'll be proud of. So long, fellas and girls.
Well, thanks a lot, Patsy. And I'm sure all your fellow members of Captain Midnight's 1940 Flight Patrol who haven't yet called for their free airline map will get over to their Skelly service stations right away. Now remember, here's all you do. Just stop and show your Skelly man your Flight Patrol membership card the next time you're out in the family car. You don't need any seals or labels or box tops or anything like that. This big airline map, 11 inches high and 17 inches wide, and printed in 3 brilliant colors, is absolutely free to all Flight Patrol members. And if you're not yet a member, you can join up right now at your Skelly service station and get your free map right away. Besides, you'll get a membership card and a spinning medal of membership without a penny's cost to you. So don't forget, whether you're already a member or not, stop at your Skelly service station with Mother or Dad to get your free Captain Midnight airline map tonight. And now to Captain Midnight. Steve has just landed on Ridgeville Airport with a special new streamlined cabin plane for Captain Midnight. It's late at night, and the plane is standing in front of the passenger station. Steve, Captain Midnight, and Patsy Donovan are discussing means of rescuing Chuck from Ivan Shark's power when a telegraph messenger boy is heard calling out the name Captain Albright. Called over, he delivers a telegram to Captain Midnight. The famous pilot has just opened the envelope, but before reading the message, he tells Steve and Patsy that the telegram is signed Ivan Shark. Listen as Patsy explains.
Captain, you mean to say that telegram is from Ivan Shark?
But that's just what you expected, isn't it?
Well, I didn't know how it would come, but I felt sure Ivan Shark would communicate with me.
What does the telegram say?
Now, listen now, and I'll read it to you. Chuck Ramsey and Frank Crane are my honored guests and will continue to be until I understand you do not wish their return. I would be more than glad to discuss the matter with you on your usual radio wavelength at the next hour of 12 p.m., following your receipt of this message. And it's signed Ivan Shark.
Well, can you untie that?
So this means we start to work at once.
But gosh, Captain Midnight, what are you going to do?
Listen, we don't know who may be listening to us. Let's get into the Spartans. We'll talk things over there.
Good idea. Come on.
There you are, Patsy.
Thanks a lot.
All right, now then. I don't believe anyone can overhear us here.
No, we're okay here. But look, what about this offer of Shark's to discuss the matter with you? You going to talk with him on the radio?
I most certainly am, Steve.
Jiminy Crickets, it's 15 minutes after 12 now. You don't have to talk to Ivan Shark for almost 24 hours.
Yes, and that's a good thing, because it gives us time to make plenty of preparations.
Well, I guess your theory was right, Captain. Shark is going to strike at you where it will hurt the most, through Chuck.
Yes, Steve. There's no question of that.
Oh, gosh, Captain Midnight, we've just got to rescue Chuck and Frank Crane, too.
We're going to do everything in our power, Patsy, and don't forget this. There are certain things I can't do.
You mean to make a bargain with Ivan Shark?
No, it isn't that, Patsy. I can make a bargain with Ivan Shark, but it can't be a dishonorable one. And I'll bet that I can guess what his offer will be.
Oh, what's that?
He wants to be left alone. Now, that's the whole thing in a nutshell. Ivan Shark wants immunity. My promise to let him alone.
Well, of course, you couldn't give him such a promise, but if you did, would he believe your word?
Yes, Steve, he would. He knows that's the one fundamental difference between him and me. When I give my word, I keep it.
Well, anyway, that's out. You can't promise to let Shark go unmolested. The question is, what are we going to do?
Some way, somehow, we've got to find and rescue Chuck and young Crane. And the one thing that might defeat us, Steve, is the time. If I can stall Ivan Shark off long enough, I believe we have a good chance. Otherwise, not.
Well, how can you stall him off? It's almost a cinch he's going to place a time limit for your acceptance of his proposition.
Yes, that's what he'll do. But we've got to find logical excuses to make this time limit as long as possible.
But gosh, Captain Midnight, Ivan Shark isn't any fool. He knows you will try to find Chuck and rescue him.
Of course he knows that, Patsy. He evidently is completely confident that we won't be successful.
Yeah, and that's what makes it look pretty tough.
Of course it's tough, Steve. This is one of the toughest situations I have ever been up against in my life. But I'm going to lick it.
What are you going to do first?
Now, the first thing is to make preparations for this radio conversation with Shark tomorrow night.
Listen, if you and he are going to have a radio conversation, that means he'll have to have a transmitter.
I'm way ahead of you, Steve. That's the first thing we're going to do. We'll find out the point from which his radio message is coming.
How are you going to do that?
By triangulation. Now, as far as we know, Ivan Shark was flying a northwest course when he left here. We have every reason to believe that he would avoid the Pacific coast in the Middle West. That means he will continue north along the Rocky Mountains. By this time, he may be up in Canada. But at any rate, I'm going to arrange for 2 listening posts. One on the Pacific coast, one on the Middle West. When we have my radio conversation with Ivan Shark, these posts will be listening to the conversation. They'll turn their movable antenna to the compass position where the signal strength of Ivan Shark's transmitter is the loudest.
Gosh, I see the whole thing. Chuck explained it to me one time.
Yes, Chuck knows all about that method. That fact may be a great help to us, too. At any rate, these 2 listening posts will telegraph us the compass reading where the signal strength was greatest. Then we'll have a large map. We'll draw a line from each listening post in the direction of the compass reading.
And those 2 lines will have to meet at one point.
Exactly. And the intersection of those 2 lines will be the location of Ivan Shark's transmitter.
In other words, the point from which Ivan Shark is sending us his radio message.
Right.
Gee, that's swell. And if you know the point from which Ivan Shark is talking, then you know where Chuck is.
No, you don't, Patsy. You underestimate Shark. He knows perfectly well we'll triangulate his transmitter.
In that case, he mustn't be afraid to let you know the point from which he's talking.
Well, on the face of it, it would look like that. But nevertheless, we may get some valuable information from it. Even though Shark can be talking to us from one place, while Chuck and Frank Crane are at another.
Gosh, that's right.
Yes. And another thing. Ivan Shark may have an unusually powerful transmitter in his plane. He could talk to us while in the air.
And in that case, he'd be moving all the time.
That's right.
Gee, it doesn't look as though it's any use to triangulate his position after all.
Well, now, don't forget, Patsy. We've got to do everything we can.
There's another thing, too.
Yeah?
We've got to be sure and copy down every word Ivan Shark says.
Yes, Steve, that's very important. That's going to be your duty, Patsy. We've got to copy down the whole conversation exactly as it takes place. You mustn't miss one word.
Gosh, Captain Midnight, I can do that. I had shorthand at high school, and I was one of the best in the class.
No, that's fine. Now, I've got to get to the telegraph office and arrange for the listening post.
And I'll put the plane in the hangar.
Right.
Oh, but there's one thing more.
Yes?
Where are we going to be when you talk to Ivan Shark?
In this plane, Steve. We'll take off and climb up to about 12,000 feet. This cabin is well soundproof. I think the reception will be good at night. I'll meet you both in the lunchroom in half an hour. So long, and I'll hurry back.
Our scene now changes to Chuck Ramsey and Frank Crane. They are huddled together in the rear compartment of Ivan Shark's powerful bimotored plane. The engines sing a monotonous tune as the ship forges on through the air. Listen as Chuck says.
I guess that's what Ivan Shark did all right, Frank. He landed to send a message to Captain Midnight.
Yeah, now the question is, where will he land the next time?
If my guess is right, the next time we land, it'll be for good.
You mean it'll be the place where he's going to keep us?
Yes, it'll be his headquarters until he finds out what Captain Midnight is going to do.
Hey, Chuck, we're flying north, I'm sure of it. It's early in the morning now. It isn't 7 o'clock yet, is it?
No, it's 5 minutes to 7.
And through this crack in the center of the floor, I can see the shadows made by the ridges and hills. We know the sun is in the east, and the shadows all go toward the west. And we know which way the ship is pointed in relation to the shadows.
It's north, all right. There isn't any doubt about it. And judging by the length of time we've been flying, I think we must be over Canada.
Oh, it's sure a wild country down below, I can tell you that. But what are you looking so puzzled about?
Oh, I'm racking my brains to try and figure out a way to get a message to Captain Midnight.
Well, maybe. Hey, didn't you tell me, Chuck, that Shark will have to talk to Captain Midnight by radio?
Yes, I think so. Well, in fact, radio is the only safe way for Shark to talk to Captain Midnight.
Well, I was just thinking that maybe Shark will let you say something to Captain Midnight just to actually prove you're alive.
Blaze and beacons, Frank. You've hit on a swell idea. Now, I'll tell Ivan Shark that he's got to let me speak to Captain Midnight over the radio so as to convince Captain Midnight that I'm actually alive.
Yeah, and that we're in Shark's power.
Now then, if Shark will let me speak to Captain Midnight, how can I say something to Captain Midnight that'll give him a clue as to where we are?
Oh, gosh, that'd be awful tough to do. Because Shark would be listening to every word you're saying. And besides, we don't know where we are ourselves.
I know. It looks impossible, but I'm going to try it just the same.
Hey, what's that you're looking at? That thing in your hand.
Oh, it's a coin, Frank. A sort of good luck piece. Captain Midnight has one just like it. See, it's got a three-bladed propeller on it.
Oh, yeah. And what's that strange word on it?
That word is Kobrulhofa, and it means a lot of swell things. Here, maybe you can figure them out for yourself.
Oh, gosh, what kind of things?
Oh, good qualities, like courtesy, for example. You see? Hey, wait. I've got an idea. Courtesy and Kobrulhofa both start with the same two letters, C and O.
Well, go on, Chuck. What are you getting at?
Well, Captain Midnight has one of these coins, too, and so has Patsy Donovan. So maybe I can figure out a message using this coin. Using this word, Kobrulhofa, so they would get what I'm driving at.
Oh, gee, Chuck, that's a great idea.
Well, the first thing to do is to find out where we are. That is, when we get there. Watch it, Frank. Someone's at the door.
Oh, I wonder what's going to happen now.
Chuck Ramsey, you come with me.
What do you want?
My master, Ivan Shark, wished to speak to you. You come along, forward.
Keep your chin up, Frank. I'll be back soon. All right, Fang. Lead the way.
Chuck Ramsey and Frank Crane are indeed faced with a difficult problem. If Ivan Shark allows Chuck to speak to Captain Midnight, how can Chuck give Captain Midnight a secret message with Ivan Shark listening to his every word? Don't miss the exciting radio conversation between Ivan Shark and Captain Midnight. Tune in to Captain Midnight. Say, do you know how many airlines there are in the United States? Do you know what routes they fly? What cities they serve? Do you know what kind of airplanes they use and all the important facts about them? Well, all these things are on Captain Midnight's big airline map of the United States. Boy, it's a big wall map, printed in 3 colors, 11 inches high and 17 inches wide. It's absolutely free to members of Captain Midnight's 1940 Flight Patrol. And if you don't belong now, you can join free at your Skelly service station and get your free airline's map right away. So stop and see your Skelly man the next time you're out riding in the family car. Tell him you want your Captain Midnight airline map, and he'll give you your free copy right on the spot. Remember, it's absolutely free to every member. So if you're not a member now, join tonight. And don't forget to tune in again Wednesday, same time, same station, for further transcribed adventures of Captain Midnight. Brought to you every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday by the Skelly Oil Company, Skelly Jobbers and Dealers. Can Chuck send some kind of a message to Captain Midnight? And what is Ivan Shark going to do next? Exciting events are ahead. Be sure to listen Wednesday. Until then, this is Don Gordon, your Skelly man, saying goodbye and happy landing! Skelly Oil Company presents Captain Midnight. Captain Midnight, brought to you 3 times each week by the Skelly Oil Company, Skelly Jobbers and Dealers. And now, fellas and girls, we have a special big treat in store tonight. I've brought a friend of mine to the studio that I know you want to meet. He's an airplane pilot who has flown more than 1,000,000 miles. He flies one of those big bimotored airplanes you've seen skimming across the sky and wondered who was inside of it. Well, the chances are you've seen one of the very planes he was flying, because he's flown a lot of them. He's none other than Captain Doc Ator of American Airlines. Captain Ator, tell us, if you had it all to do over again, would you want to become a transport pilot for one of America's greatest airlines?
I certainly would, Don. And I'll tell you why. There's a real future in aviation. Air transportation is already one of America's largest and fastest-growing industries.
Then you wouldn't try to discourage young people from becoming interested in flying? I mean, you don't think it's just idle dreaming to think about big careers ahead in aviation?
Oh, I should say not. I'd advise young people who are interested in aviation to start in early, preparing and training themselves for the many important jobs that'll have to be filled in building America's future in the air. And I really admire the work that you're doing on this Captain Midnight program and in your famous Flight Patrol Radio Club in helping boys and girls to learn more about aviation.
Well, thank you, sir. We're mighty happy to hear you say that. Say, by the way, Captain Ator, have you seen our new Captain Midnight Airline Map of America that we're offering free to every member of the 1940 Flight Patrol and all those who still want to join?
Yes, sir. I certainly have seen their airline map, and I want to say that it's a great piece of work. Surely any fellow or girl who's interested in flying will want to have a copy of that beautiful big wall map of the airlines of America. Speaking for American Airlines, I want to thank Captain Midnight and the sponsors of this program for offering young people the opportunity to get such a fine map to help acquaint them with the progress of air transportation in the United States. And I hope every fellow and girl listening in tonight is able to get one of those excellent airline maps to study and to keep.
Well, thank you, Captain Ator. I hope they can, too. And now, fellas and girls, here's all you do to get one of these big three-color airline maps, all your own, absolutely free. Just stop in and show your Flight Patrol membership card to your Skelly man the next time you're out riding with Mother or Dad in the family car. He'll give it to you right on the spot. And listen, this map is big. It's 11 inches high and 17 inches wide. It not only shows every airline in the United States and just where it flies, but it shows pictures of many of the most widely used transport planes with interesting facts about them. Why, it even has 3 special new pictures of Captain Midnight and his 2 friends, Chuck and Patsy. Why, say, you'll sure be sorry if you miss out on getting this big free airline map of America. So remember, have Mother or Dad run you over to your Skelly service station tonight or tomorrow for sure. Simply show your Skelly man that you're a member of the 1940 Flight Patrol, and you get your Captain Midnight airline map absolutely free. And now to Captain Midnight. Ivan Shark has promised to let Chuck Ramsey speak a few words over the microphone when Shark again radios a message to Captain Midnight. Our scene today opens on Ivan Shark's powerful bimotored transport plane as it pursues a northerly course high over a wild mountainous region. Chuck and Frank Crane, in the rear compartment, have been discussing the possibility of getting a secret message to Captain Midnight. But suddenly, the door is unlocked, and the servant Fang tells Chuck that Ivan Shark wishes him to come forward to the cockpit. We now find the young pilot seated next to Shark, who is piloting the plane. Chuck is speaking.
You know, Ivan Shark, just because you told Captain Midnight that Crane and I are in your hands doesn't mean that he's going to believe it.
You're very shrewd, Ramsey. Very shrewd indeed. I anticipated that Captain Midnight might demand some proof of your presence with me.
Something like my voice, because I think Captain Midnight will demand such proof.
I believe I see what you are thinking about, Ramsey. But if I were you, I would not raise my hopes too high.
I merely wanted to put at rest any doubts that might be in Captain Midnight's mind.
Oh, no, Ramsey. That is not all you wanted. You also wanted to give Captain Midnight some information that would help him in trying to find you. But that will be quite useless, my dear Ramsey. Quite useless.
You misunderstand me, Shark. You'll be right beside me as I speak, and I won't say anything to which you could object.
That is better, Ramsey. I did not really think you would be foolhardy enough to make it necessary for me to liquidate you at once.
No, I'd be very foolish to do anything like that.
I am quite aware that Captain Midnight will raise heaven and earth in an attempt to rescue you. But that will be quite useless. I have made all preparations in advance. And if I should allow you to speak to him over the radio, you have my permission to tell him that.
I think Captain Midnight probably knows that already.
Yes. Whatever else Captain Midnight may be, is not a boat.
Oh, you're banking. Are we turning from our course?
No, I'm merely looking the ground over in preparation for a landing.
This is certainly wild country here.
Yes, Ramsey. Very wild indeed. And it is country you have never seen before. Otherwise, I would not allow you to remain here with me and look out.
No, I guess you're not taking any chances. I wouldn't know what to tell Captain Midnight even if I could talk to him.
Yes. Yes, that is quite right. I see you have sense enough to know when you are conquered.
Oh, I see a narrow field down there. And it looks like there's a small clearing with some kind of a home on that ridge.
Quite correct, Ramsey. And that cabin you see on the ridge will be your home until I get word from Captain Midnight. If it is unfavorable, these next few days may be your last one. However, Ramsey, you will be very comfortable, I can assure you. Now leave me and return to the rear compartment.
Where's the ship going? The plane's going down the line, Frank. And the best part of it all is that I had a swell look at that country before Shark throttled his engine.
But do you know where we are?
No, I haven't got the faintest idea. But I'm almost positive we're north of the line and into Canada.
We sure must be. We've flown north for such a long time.
But I can tell you one thing. I'm positive I can locate this place again.
But you've never seen it before. Anyway, Ivan Shark wouldn't let you look at it if it'd do you any good.
Yes, that's what he said. But nevertheless, it has done me some good.
What'd you see?
I'll tell you why, Frank. Just before we started down, I saw a landmark which is a very unusual one. In fact, it's so unusual that no one could miss it.
Gosh, Chuck, what is it?
It was a long ridge. Oh, I should say about 4 or 5 miles long. It's long and narrow and has trees on it. And the whole thing is shaped just like an arrow.
An arrow?
Yes. It runs from west to east. And on the eastern end, there's a tip just like the point of an arrow. And then on the western end, it's wider. And it looks just like the feathers that are on the end of the arrow.
Oh, you mean the feathers that keep it going straight?
That's just what I mean, Frank. And when you look at it from above, it looks just exactly like an arrow that was getting ready to fly through the air.
A flying arrow? Gosh!
Oh, if I could only figure some way to let Captain Midnight know about that.
Well, what else did you see?
Oh, gosh, I saw a lot of things. Oh, I saw the cabin where we're going to live. It's a long, low building on the top of the ridge.
You mean on top of the ridge it looks like an arrow?
Yes. And on the southern end of the ridge, not far from the landing field, there's a canyon. And over this canyon, there's another ridge.
What do you know about that? Hey, but tell me, Chuck, did you see any signs, signs that would mean people are living around here?
Nothing like that, Frank. Oh, this is the wildest country I've ever seen. I think we must be miles and miles from any human habitation. In fact, Shark told me up in front that we'd better not try to escape, because if we did, we'd starve to death before we got out.
Oh, geez, he's probably right, too.
So I figure our only chance is to get some kind of a message through to Captain Midnight. I may be wrong, but I believe that if I had the chance, I could describe this country so well that Captain Midnight could find it.
Well, Shark is going to talk to Captain Midnight, isn't he?
Yes, by radio. Tonight at 12 o'clock. And it looks as though Shark may let me say something to Captain Midnight myself.
Oh, gosh, that's swell. Hey, do you think, Chuck, there's any way you could get a secret message through to Captain Midnight without Shark suspecting what you're doing?
It's just exactly what I'm going to try to do, Frank. It may be impossible, but I'm going to take a crack at it.
Well, it's early in the morning now, and you've got plenty of time before 12 o'clock tonight. Oh, the ship's leveling now. I guess we must be going to land. Hey, gee, Chuck, what are you looking at?
I'm looking at this point again. I've got an idea, and I believe I can use it as a means of getting a message through to Captain Midnight.
Hours have passed, and our scene changes. It's drawing rapidly nearer to 12 o'clock the same night, and we find Captain Midnight at the controls of his new Spartan cabin plane, with Steve Donovan in the seat beside him and Patsy Donovan immediately behind. The plane is slipping along easily through the night sky at 10,000 feet. Let's listen as Patsy says,
Why, look down there. Isn't that a ship approaching Ridgeville Airport?
Yes, I can see the navigation lights. I think it must be the plane I flew up to Tulsa. Spartan people are going to have a pilot area down here for tonight.
There's something I meant to ask you about, Captain Midnight.
Yes?
Something that didn't look quite right to me.
Go ahead, Patsy. What is it?
That telegram you got from Ivan Shark. Didn't it come from someplace in Ohio?
Yes, Patsy, it did. But that doesn't mean a thing. Shark has connections all over the country. He could have wired some friend of his and had the friend send the telegram to me.
Oh, sure. Why didn't I think of that?
Look at the clock. Getting pretty close to 12. Gee, I'm so nervous I can hardly sit still in my seat.
Oh, gosh, Steve, I'm just the same. Why, I'm so excited I'm shaking all over.
Get hold of yourself, Patsy. Because when we start talking, I want you to be sure to not miss a single word of it.
All right, Captain Midnight. I'll try my best to keep cool.
An awful lot certainly depends on this conversation. I hope our listening posts are tuned in already.
They're tuned in all right, Steve. Don't worry about that.
Good.
After I sent my instructions, I received confirmations from both of them.
And didn't you say you talked to Major Steele on long distance?
Yes, I did. He's going to listen in, too.
Well, how much time to wait, Steve? I can't see the clock very well from here.
There's a little over a minute to go, Patsy. I'll give you 10 seconds warning before 12 o'clock.
Right.
That's the stuff. I'll have my notebook and my pencil all ready.
You better have them ready right now, Patsy.
You know just exactly what you're going to say, Captain Midnight?
Yes, Steve. I know exactly what I'm going to say, and the first thing I'm going to demand is to hear Chuck's voice.
Do you think Ivan Shark will let Chuck speak to you?
He'll have to, or I won't even talk to him, so we've got him in a spot, too.
I don't think Shark will allow Chuck to speak if he can possibly get out of it.
No, I don't think so either. But that's my one condition.
Oh, gosh, won't it be thrilling to hear Chuck's voice? I feel just like shouting hello to him.
Don't forget, Patsy. A person's voice sometimes doesn't sound the same over a radio at all.
Oh, gosh, that's right. Maybe I wouldn't even recognize Chuck's voice.
And that has given me a swell idea.
Gee, what do you mean?
Well, I won't bother to explain it to you now. But I will after we get through talking to Shark. But this idea may mean that we'll be able to stall Shark off longer than I'd hoped. In fact, it may mean the difference between success and failure.
Gee, I can hardly wait to have you explain it to us.
Never mind that now. We haven't got any more time to waste. It's 10 seconds to 12.
Oh.
I'm all ready to start writing.
I'll wait until the second hand's on the hour, then I'll start calling.
It's almost time. 4, 3, 2, 12 o'clock.
All right, here goes. Captain Midnight, calling Ivan Shark. Captain Midnight, calling Ivan Shark.
Gosh, I don't hear a thing.
Except for a little static.
Captain Midnight, calling Ivan Shark. Captain Midnight, calling Ivan Shark. Go ahead.
Ivan Shark answering Captain Midnight. Ivan Shark answering Captain Midnight. Go ahead.
At last, the fateful hour of 12 has come, and the terribly important radio conversation between Captain Midnight and Ivan Shark has begun. How will Captain Midnight reply to Ivan Shark's demands? Will Captain Midnight and his friends hear Chuck's voice over the radio? Don't miss the next adventure. Tune in to Captain Midnight. Now remember, there are just a few days left for getting your free airline map of America at your Skelly service station. It's absolutely free to members of Captain Midnight's 1940 Flight Patrol. If you have any friends who haven't yet joined, tell them they can join right now simply by calling at their Skelly service station, and they can get their free airline maps right away, just like all the rest of the members. So don't forget, stop in and show your Skelly man your Flight Patrol membership card the next time you're out in the family car. And right then and there, he'll hand you your big 3-color airline map of America with the pictures and descriptions of modern transport planes and all. And it's absolutely free. So get yours tonight or tomorrow for sure. And don't forget to tune in again Friday, same time, same station, for further transcribed adventures of Captain Midnight, brought to you by the Skelly Oil Company, Skelly Jobbers and Dealers. Until Friday, this is Don Gordon, your Skelly man, saying goodbye and happy landing! The Skelly Oil Company presents Captain Midnight. Captain Midnight, brought to you 3 times each week by the Skelly Oil Company, Skelly Jobbers and Dealers. But now, fellas and girls, I want to tell you something that's so important, I want all the friends of Captain Midnight's everywhere to know about it. So, if you see any fellas or girls who didn't hear this announcement tonight, tell them about it, will you? Tell them that this is their last chance, yes, positively their last chance, to get one of Captain Midnight's big three-color wall maps of the airlines of America. It's positively the last time I'll be able to make this offer over the air. So, if they want one of those beautiful big 11 by 17-inch airline maps, chock full of exciting information about the greatest system of airlines in the world, they'd better hurry right over to their Skelly service station tonight, or tomorrow, or Sunday for sure. Because these airline maps, as you know, are absolutely free to members of Captain Midnight's 1940 Flight Patrol. To old members, as well as to those who are joining up right now. So you can just imagine how fast they're disappearing. Now, you no doubt have yours already, of course. But suppose you didn't have it yet. Suppose you hadn't even heard about them. Wouldn't you want your friends to let you in on the secret and tell you just how to get one? Why, of course you would. You wouldn't want to miss out on getting one of the most thrilling free offers ever made over the air. So listen. Tell all your friends who haven't yet got their free airline map of America from their Skelly service station that this is all they have to do to get one absolutely free. Tell it to them just like this.
All you have to do is stop in and show your Skelly man your Flight Patrol membership card next time you're out riding with your mother or dad. You don't need any seals or labels or box tops or anything like that. You just show your Skelly man that you're a member of the 1940 Flight Patrol, and he'll give you your Captain Midnight airline map absolutely free. But you say you aren't a member yet? Oh, well, that's easy. Just tell your Skelly man, and he'll tell you how to join up right away. He'll give you a Flight Patrol card and send in for your spinning medal of membership. And he'll give you one of those big Captain Midnight airline maps right away, without even having to wait for it.
That's right. So remember now, tell all your friends about it, won't you, just like that. And of course, if by any chance you haven't got your free airline map yourself, well, all you have to do is follow those same directions. But don't put it off, will you? Get over and see your Skelly man this weekend. Or, if Mother or Dad is willing, do it tonight. And now to Captain Midnight. Captain Midnight, Steve, and Patsy are up 10,000 feet in the air at midnight, the time when Ivan Shark is supposed to communicate with Captain Midnight by radio. 2 listening posts, one on the Pacific coast and one in the Middle West, are tuned in to determine the direction from which the signals from Ivan Shark's transmitter are coming. Captain Midnight has just called Ivan Shark while Patsy sits with her notebook and pencil ready to take down every word of the conversation. Steve is doing the flying while Captain Midnight gives his complete attention to the radio set. And then, out of the sparkling ether, comes a voice. The voice of Ivan Shark.
Ivan Shark answering Captain Midnight. Go ahead.
I have received your telegram, Ivan Shark. You say you have Chuck Ramsey and Frank Crane in your power. I demand proof of that. Go ahead.
What kind of proof do you wish, Captain Midnight? Go ahead.
I demand to hear Chuck Ramsey's voice. Go ahead.
That is unnecessary. You know full well that Chuck Ramsey is in my hands. Go ahead.
Further conversation is useless, Ivan Shark, until I hear Chuck Ramsey's voice. Go ahead.
Very well, Captain Midnight. You shall call me again tomorrow night at the same hour. At that time, you shall hear Chuck Ramsey's voice. Go ahead.
You'd better keep your promise, Ivan Shark. Until tomorrow night, Captain Midnight signing off.
Did you get everything, Patsy?
You bet I did, every word. But I thought we were going to hear Chuck's voice. You know, Captain Midnight, maybe Ivan Shark is just bluffing. Maybe Chuck isn't with him at all.
Oh, yes, he is, Patsy. I'm sure of that. But for some reason, which we've got to figure out, Shark didn't want Chuck to speak to me tonight.
I wonder what that reason could be.
Gosh, Captain Midnight, what do you suppose it is?
I'm not sure, Patsy. Perhaps Ivan Shark hoped to get by without letting us hear Chuck's voice.
You know, I'll bet that Chuck wasn't with him when he spoke to us.
Huh?
Well, maybe he didn't want to have Chuck with him, because then Chuck might know where he was.
Yes, there's that possibility, of course. Chuck may not know exactly where he is, but he may have a pretty good idea, at least within, say, 500 miles.
Maybe so, but he'll have to know a lot closer than that to do us any good.
Right.
And suppose he does know. How's he going to tell us?
Well, there's the big problem. How is Chuck going to give us any kind of a message?
Well, he's going to talk to us tomorrow night, or rather tonight, because it's after 12 o'clock already.
Sure, Patsy, but don't forget, Ivan Shark will be right next to Chuck when he talks to us. And the instant Chuck says anything to try to give us any idea where he is, Shark will shut him off just like that. And maybe he'll do worse.
You mean shoot him?
Well, yes, that's what I mean. After all, Shark isn't going to take any chances. He's playing a desperate game, Patsy. There are desperate consequences if he gets caught. He's got plenty of crimes chalked up against him already, so another murder or two isn't going to stop him.
What do you think, Captain Midnight?
I think this, Patsy. Shark will warn Chuck against giving us any information. He will probably tell Chuck that he will shoot if he attempts anything like that.
But gosh, would he actually do it?
Certainly he would. But I don't think anything like that will happen.
Well, why not?
As Patsy has said, Chuck isn't a fool. He won't try to blurt out some information, hoping he can say enough before Shark stops him, because after all, Chuck knows we don't want to search for a dead body. If he can get any kind of a message to us, he'll do so, in such a way that Shark won't suspect anything.
Jiminy Crickets, Captain Midnight. That would be terribly hard to do. Why, it would be almost impossible.
Yes, I know that only too well, Patsy. The only thing we can do now is to wait for Chuck's voice. However, in the meantime, we can get the reports from our listening posts.
Gee, that's right. How soon do you think you ought to get them?
Well, they may be down at the telegraph office as soon as we land.
Well, the airport's right ahead of us now.
Yes, I've gradually been circling that way. Okay, now, I'm going to throttle the engine. We'll go in for a landing. Got a telegram from each listening post. Now then, let's look at our map. Our first post is on the Pacific coast.
Here we are. I'll put it down at the proper position.
It isn't very far from Santa Barbara, California. All right, now then. While we're at it, I might as well put a mark for the second post. Here it is.
Say, that's quite a distance east, isn't it?
Why, it isn't very far from Chicago.
That's right. Now then for the messages. The first one from post number 1 says, signal strength greatest at 5 degrees.
Loop and loops. Well, that's almost straight north from Santa Barbara.
Yes, just a little bit east of a straight north line.
Okay, here's a protractor.
Right.
I'll put the center on 0. That's 0 or straight north. I'll put a mark at 5 degrees.
Mm-hmm. That's the stuff. Now then, Patsy, I'll draw a line way up almost to the Arctic Ocean. The northern end of it will be on that big island, Victoria Island. There. Now for the second message.
Well, it's bound to be a high number of degrees.
That's right, Steve, because the direction from the second listening post has to be northwest.
Right you are, Patsy. And here's the message from the second post. Signal strength greatest at 320 degrees.
Come on, Steve, with the protractor. I can hardly wait.
Don't be in such a hurry, Patsy. I've got to be exact. There. And now she's all right.
Good. Now I'll make a mark with the point of the pencil at 320 degrees. Then draw a line like this.
Jiminy Crickets. Look at that.
Why, the intersection of those lines isn't so far north after all.
No, it's plenty north, I can tell you that. Now, look, it's considerably north and west of Reddington.
Reddington? Well, I've heard of that.
Certainly you've heard of Reddington, Patsy. It's a well-known city of Alberta province.
And there's something else about Reddington, too. It's considered to be a jumping-off place for expeditions up into the northwest.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know anything about that country, Captain Midnight?
Oh, a little bit, Patsy. I flew once from Reddington to a point above the Great Slave Lake. And from there, I continued north to the mouth of the Mackenzie River.
Mouth of the Mackenzie River? Why, there, now I see it. Why, it empties into the Arctic Ocean.
Yes, Patsy. And when you're up there, you're plenty far north, I can tell you that.
Did you fly back the same way?
No, we flew west to Nome, Alaska, and then south along the Pacific coast.
Well, to get back to our problem, what do you think about it, Captain Midnight? Do you think Ivan Shark is holding Chuck and Frank Crane at a point close to the intersection of those lines?
Yes, Steve, I do. But when I say close now, I'm only speaking comparatively. It might be 100 or 300 miles distance, but not much more than that.
We've got to get closer than that to do any good.
Yes, Steve, we must. But don't forget, we're going to listen to another broadcast tomorrow night. Both of our posts will be listening again. We'll see whether Shark transmits his messages from the same location.
If he does, we'll be almost certain that's where he's keeping Chuck and Frank Crane.
Yes, it might look like that. But I wouldn't be too sure. Don't forget that Ivan Shark knows we're triangulating his position. He wouldn't be foolish enough to keep Chuck at the same point from which he transmits his messages.
No, I don't think so either. But we'll have to wait and see.
Yeah, that's all we can do. But in the meantime, I'm going to send some messages to the Canadian authorities. They may be able to help us. Well, you better get some sleep, Patsy, and you too, Steve. I'll see you both in the morning.
Our scene changes to the wilds of Canada, to the lonely, isolated hideout where Ivan Shark has carried Chuck Ramsey and young Frank Crane. It's early in the morning, and Ivan Shark has just finished breakfast in his study. He's speaking to Chuck Ramsey.
Well, Ramsey, this is a glorious morning. How do you feel?
Oh, I feel all right, but I'd feel a lot better if I were back with Captain Midnight.
No doubt, Ramsey, no doubt. I can easily see that I would never take the place of Captain Midnight in your esteem.
No, sir. Never.
You are most emphatic about it, Ramsey. But then, let it pass.
Did you talk to Captain Midnight last night?
Yes, I did. At the time agreed upon.
I thought you were going to let me say something to him.
I had intended to, but I changed my mind.
Well, aren't you going to let me say anything to him at all?
I did not wish to have you speak to Captain Midnight unless I found it absolutely necessary.
Didn't Captain Midnight ask to hear my voice?
Yes, Ramsey, you were quite right. Captain Midnight did ask to hear your voice. He said he was not convinced you were actually my guest.
I thought perhaps he might say something like that.
I had hoped that I might persuade Captain Midnight to give me the promise I desire without hearing your voice. But I found out that was impossible. He would not talk further with me until he had heard from you. So tonight at 12 o'clock, you will have the privilege of saying something to him.
Oh, gosh, that's swell. I'll sure be glad to hear his voice again.
And he, no doubt, will be glad to hear yours. But I warn you, Ramsey, be very careful what you say. At the slightest suspicion that you are attempting to communicate some secret message, your life will be forfeited.
You mean you'll shoot me?
Yes, Ramsey. Without hesitation. If I cannot get Captain Midnight to agree to my proposition, your death will be my surest means of getting even with him. When you speak, I will be holding a gun. So be careful, Ramsey. Be very careful what you say.
Well, at last, Chuck is going to have the opportunity for which he has been waiting. Ivan Shark has promised that Chuck can speak to Captain Midnight over the radio. But what can the young pilot say to help Captain Midnight locate him? You won't want to miss the ingenious method by which Chuck does send a message to Captain Midnight. Listen to Captain Midnight. Say, what if somebody that you considered a friend of yours knew something that you ought to know and wouldn't tell you about it? Oh, you wouldn't say that person was a very good friend of yours, would you? Well, if you want to prove that you're a real friend, you better tell all the fellas and girls you know about Captain Midnight's big free airline map of the United States. Because this is their last chance to get one absolutely free. So tell them, won't you, to call at the Skelly service station with Mother or Dad this weekend for sure to get one of those free airline maps. They can even join the flight patrol and get a map at the same time if they don't belong now. But whatever you do, be sure you get one of these swell airline maps of America at your Skelly service station right now before they're all gone. You'll be sorry if you don't get one because, believe me, they're swell. Now, don't forget to tune in again Monday, same time, same station, for further transcribed adventures of Captain Midnight, brought to you by the Skelly Oil Company, Skelly Jobbers and Dealers. Will Chuck Ramsey be able to send any kind of a secret message to Captain Midnight when Chuck talks to him over the radio? What will Ivan Shark do next? Be sure to listen Monday. Until then, this is Don Gordon, your Skelly man, saying goodbye and
Happy landing!
Skelly Oil Company presents Captain Midnight. Captain Midnight, brought to you 3 times each week by the Skelly Oil Company, Skelly Jobbers and Dealers. Say, how many of you fellas and girls are going to be airplane pilots when you grow up? Raise your hands, will you? Hey, boy, oh boy, look at those thousands of future flyers listening in tonight. Well, now, here's something every young future flyer should know. An airplane pilot has to learn to watch the weather. The weather is very important in aviation. So airplane pilots study the weather reports every day. They try to find out just what the weather is going to be like ahead of time so they can be prepared for it. Well, that's something you should be doing right now. Watching the weather and reading the weather reports to help Dad keep the family car prepared for the weather ahead. You should be listening to the daily reading of the weather forecasts on the radio just as closely as airplane pilots do, so you can tell Dad what kind of weather to expect for the family car. And why is the weather important to your family car? Well, for a number of reasons. Any day now, it'll be time to change over to summer weight oils and gear lubricants. Time to bring the family car into your Skelly service station to have it made ready for spring weather. Your Skelly man knows just the kind of oil and gear lubricant you should have in your car for your weather. And he has the exact grade of Skelly Tagoline motor oil and lubricants that your car needs. But it's your job to watch the weather so you can tell Dad when it's time to stop in for a spring lubrication checkup at your Skelly service station. So remember how important the weather is, you young future airplane pilots, won't you? And remember, too, that your Skelly man is the one who knows how to take care of your car in every kind of weather. And now to Captain Midnight. You remember that in the last adventure, Ivan Shark promised Chuck Ramsey that the young pilot would have an opportunity to say something to Captain Midnight over the radio to prove that he actually was in Shark's power. It is now early in the morning, just after Chuck has had his talk with Ivan Shark. The servant, Fang, has ushered Chuck to the room where he and young Crane have been kept behind locked doors. Listen.
Oh, gosh, Chuck, you're back quick. What happened?
It's true, Frank, it's true. I'm really going to talk to Captain Midnight tonight.
Hey, honestly, Chuck? Do you actually mean it?
Absolutely, Frank. Ivan Shark just promised me that I would.
Oh, but gosh, Chuck, from what you told me of Ivan Shark, how can you trust him? You thought he was going to let you talk to Captain Midnight last night, but he didn't.
Oh, gee, Frank, you're right. Maybe he'll go back on his word. But no, he won't. He can't.
Why not?
Well, don't you see, Frank? Ivan Shark wouldn't let me talk to Captain Midnight if there was any other way for him to get what he wants. There isn't, don't you see?
Oh, gosh, Chuck, I guess you're right. He's got to let you talk to Captain Midnight.
It's just as we thought. I know that from what Ivan Shark said. Captain Midnight told him that he'd have to hear my voice so that he'd know that I'm in Ivan Shark's hands.
Well, the next thing is, what are you going to say to him?
Oh, that's the thing that's got me stuck, Frank. I've seen enough of this place to know that there are certain things which Captain Midnight must know in order to find us. And we've got to figure out how to tell him.
Oh, it's still early in the morning, Chuck. We got more than 12 hours to figure it out. But, well, to tell you the truth, I just don't see how it can be done.
It does seem impossible. But I've got an idea.
Oh, that's swell. How long do you think Ivan Shark will let you talk to Captain Midnight? If all he's going to do is let Captain Midnight hear your voice, well, then he may only let you say a couple or three words.
Well, then we're sunk, Frank. I got to say a lot more than that to get any kind of a secret message through to him.
Well, how many words do you think Shark will let you say?
I don't know. But I'm not going to ask him. I'm going to say as much as I can before he shuts me off. I ought to get in at least 50 words.
Oh, that's an awful lot, Chuck. I don't think Shark will let you say that much.
Well, I don't know. You can say 50 words in a pretty short time.
Well, you can't try to say them too fast, because then Captain Midnight might not hear them all.
And that, Frank, is terribly important. Captain Midnight has got to get every word. If he should miss even one, it would ruin the whole thing. And something else, too. If I try to talk too fast, Ivan Shark would get suspicious. He'd suspect that I had some particular reason for talking so fast.
Yeah, Chuck, I guess you're right. Hey, but tell me, what did you mean by saying that if Captain Midnight didn't get every word, it'd ruin the whole thing?
Captain Midnight once told me about a method which is sometimes used to convey secret messages in a seemingly innocent letter.
Well, tell me about it, Chuck. How in the world are you going to do it? Do you really believe there's any chance?
Yes, Frank, I think there is. But it means a terrific amount of work.
Well, I just can't see how you're going to do it.
You remember I told you about this good luck coin I have in my pocket?
Oh, you mean the one with the three-bladed propeller?
Yes. And you remember what... Oh, well, here it is. I told you about that word Kobrelhofer.
Oh, sure, Chuck. I'm looking at it right now.
In order for two people to send a secret message to each other in a letter or some other communication, they usually use a word or a phrase that's known to each other very well.
Oh, sure, Chuck. I see.
So in this case, I'm going to try to use the word Kobrelhofer, because it's so well known to both Captain Midnight and myself.
But I sure don't see
It's like this, Frank. We gotta use the letters of the word Kobrelhofer as the means of sending a message.
Oh, you mean each one of the letters in the word Kobrelhofer is the first letter of a new word in the secret message?
That's exactly what I mean, Frank. Now, for example, Here are some of the words that we've got to get across to Captain Midnight. And we've only got a little over 12 hours, so we've got to get busy. Now then, here's the most important.
And now our scene changes. It's shortly after 11 o'clock that night on Ridgeville Airport. Captain Midnight's new Spartan cabin plane is standing in front of the Southwest Airlines hangar, ready for a takeoff. Steve and Patsy Donovan are seated in the cabin waiting for Captain Midnight. Let's listen as Steve says.
Now, Patsy, Captain Midnight thinks there's a chance Chuck may try to broadcast some kind of a secret message to us. So you've got to be sure to write down every single word that Chuck says.
Gosh, Steve, wouldn't that be wonderful if he could? And don't worry, I won't miss a thing.
Well, anyway, if Chuck can, you can see how important it is to get every word he says.
Gosh, I'll do my best, Steve. But I still don't see how Chuck could send a secret message to us with Ivan Shark standing right beside him.
Well, it does seem impossible, but then Captain Midnight says it's been done before.
But Chuck hasn't had any experience doing anything like that.
Well, that's what I told Captain Midnight. But he says that he once told Chuck of a method that spies sometimes use in sending messages and letters.
Gee, you mean by invisible writing, like Chuck's father did on that map?
No, Patsy, nothing like that. Because letters are often examined in an infrared machine. Any kind of invisible writing would show up at once.
Oh, but how in the world do they send a secret message then?
Well, there's nothing hidden at all. It's just as if you were to write a letter to me, and the letter seems to mean one thing, whereas actually there is a secret message using the same words that appear to be innocent.
Looks, what do you know about that?
Well, Captain Midnight says it's done usually by using certain regularly spaced words in the message.
You mean like a crossword puzzle?
No, Patsy, not like that. You count from the first word in the message, and maybe it'll be the fifth word. Then you count through, and every fifth word is the word in the secret message.
Jiminy Crickets, I never heard of anything like that.
Well, it doesn't have to be every fifth word. Sometimes it's the 6th or 7th or 10th, or maybe even the 15th.
Why, sure, I begin to see now. You just take those certain words out of the letter, and there you have your secret message.
That's the idea.
Oh, here comes Captain Midnight now.
Well, we're almost ready to take off. Is the ship full of gas, Steve?
Every tank is full, Captain Midnight.
Good.
The oil is okay, and I checked everything else, too.
That's fine. Let me see what time it is.
It's 10 minutes after 11, Captain Midnight.
So I see. Now, we'll take off in a couple of minutes. I want to climb up to 10,000 feet before we start talking to Ivan Shark.
Are the two listening posts all set?
Yes. I got telegrams from them while I was talking to Pinky Drake and Slim Pool.
Oh, say, did you ask Pinky and Slim about that country there up in Canada?
Yes, Steve, I did. And it seems that Pinky once prospected up in that country. He and another fellow are up near the headwaters of the Peace River.
Gee, that's swell. Then you're going to take them along with us when we go up there?
That's the idea, Patsy.
Well, when do we leave?
Well, we may leave immediately after our conversation with Ivan Shark tonight. Now, if we do, we'll land, gas up, pick up Pinky and Slim, and be on our way. But it all depends on what happens during the next hour.
We'll have to find out here from the listening post before we leave, won't we?
Yes, we will. It's very important. I've arranged with the telegraph company to get the messages from the listening post through as quickly as they can. We'll no doubt receive them soon after we get back in the ground.
Do you think Ivan Shark will talk from the same position tonight that he did last night?
Well, I can't tell about that, Patsy. Shark is very clever. He knows we're triangulating his position. And he's going to do everything in his power to fool us.
Well, he might send his message from the same place tonight just to make us think that that's where he is.
It's using your head, Steve. Ivan Shark may do just that. But there's no use speculating about it now. We've got to be in the air. I'll start the engine. We'll take off.
How about it, Captain Midnight? The needle says 10,000 feet.
Good. We're high enough now, Steve. I'm going to level off.
There, that's a lot better. The less noise the engine makes, the easier it'll be to hear Chuck.
All right, now then, Steve. You take the controls. I want to give all my attention to this radio conversation.
Okay. Which way will I head?
Now, listen, just keep cruising in a wide circle over the airport. As soon as we're through talking, I want to be able to get on the ground without wasting any time.
All right, you are.
And the more you can throttle the engine without losing altitude, the better it'll be for us.
Okay. I'll throttle her down as far as I can.
Right.
Gosh, Steve, that's swell. If you don't have to run the engine any faster than that, we should be able to hear Ivan Shark and Chuck as clearly as if we were on a telephone.
Well, we're holding our altitude all right. I don't think we'll have any trouble.
All right, now then, Patsy. Are you all ready?
Yes, I am, Captain Midnight. I've got my pad here and 2 extra pencils in case I break a point.
All right, that's fine. I don't want you to miss a single word, Patsy, particularly when Chuck begins to talk.
I'll try not to miss a word, Captain Midnight, because Steve says you think there's a chance Chuck may try to send us a secret message.
Well, it's a faint hope, Patsy. It all depends on Chuck's circumstances, whether he's been able to see anything and so forth.
And there's another thing, too.
Yeah?
If Chuck has to speak to us without knowing beforehand that he's going to, it's going to make it awfully tough.
It's a possibility, Steve. And if that proves to be true, there won't be any chance for a secret message. All right, now. Better be getting ready here.
Well, according to the clock in the instrument panel, we've only got a half a minute to go.
That's what my watch says, too.
Oh, now, wait a minute. Let's take a last look around and see that we haven't forgotten anything.
I'm all ready.
So am I.
Okay. All right, now. According to the second hand, it's almost 12. All right, here goes. Captain Midnight, calling Ivan Shark. Captain Midnight, calling Ivan Shark. Go ahead.
Ivan Shark answering Captain Midnight. Go ahead.
I'm waiting to hear Chuck Ramsey's voice. Go ahead.
But first, Captain Midnight, I have a proposition to make. Chuck Ramsey and his friend Frank Crane will be returned to you safely if you give me your word of honor to leave me alone in the future. Do you agree? Go ahead.
I won't talk to you, Ivan Shark, until I've heard Chuck Ramsey's voice. Go ahead.
Very good, Captain Midnight. You shall hear Chuck Ramsey's voice. You will step here, Ramsey, and try to persuade Captain Midnight that he had better do as I ask. You may say a few words to him, but only a very few.
Chuck Ramsey's voice is about to be heard by Captain Midnight, Steve, and Patsy. But what will he say? Chuck and Frank Crane have had over 12 hours to work out some kind of a secret message to send to Captain Midnight. Have they succeeded? You must not miss Chuck's speech in the next exciting adventure of Captain Midnight. Now, here's something you shouldn't miss, too, because it's a chance for you to show Dad you really know something about driving. The next time you're out riding in the family car, you ask Dad or whoever's driving how long it's been since you've changed the oil in the crankcase. Well, if it's been some time, then there's your chance to say, listen, Papa, let's try Skelly Tagoline this time. The motor oil that's made to stand abuse. Now, that idea will appeal to Dad, I know, because if there's anything every motorist wants, it's an oil that will stand abuse, an oil that will hold its body and keep on protecting your motor mile after mile without thinning out till there's nothing left. And that's why Skelly Tagoline is such a popular motor oil. It proves by mile after mile of tough going at high speeds and high temperatures that it's really made to stand abuse. So remember, try Tagoline tonight or the next time you change oil. Stop at your Skelly service station and ask for Skelly Tagoline motor oil. And don't forget to tune in again Wednesday, same time, same station, for further transcribed adventures of Captain Midnight, brought to you every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday by the Skelly Oil Company, Skelly Jobbers and Dealers. Will Chuck Ramsey be able to send a secret message to Captain Midnight? Or will Ivan Shark notice the trick and stop Chuck from speaking? Be sure to listen Wednesday. Until then, this is Don Gordon, your Skelly man, saying goodbye and happy